I pay you guys 2,000 shillings every month. I have airtime and bundles for Netflix until the next famine. And yet you are still bamboozling me with your SMSs about Copper Credit. Get real, guys. Yeah? You are a serious global brand. And if you can't deal with basic data and mass customization issues, then we have a serious, serious problem. Hi, everyone. This is Ali Hussein Kasim of Ali Talks Tech. In this week's weekly roundup of tech news across Africa, I'm covering some interesting stories. First, a public service announcement. My SMS inbox has gone wild. I'll come back to that. A conversation on digital freedom and transparency. My ex suspension saga and how I got back. Scratch that. I don't know how I got back. Premier Bank's digital Shari'ah banking revolution, pioneering digital Islamic banking in Kenya. I was at the launch today. Super interesting, amazing conversation I'm going to have about that today. My other story is on Ethiopia's crackdown on remittance flows and how African countries are clamping down on remittance regarding sovereignty, anti-money laundering and stuff like that. Last but not least, the European Commission Bank is telling us cash is still king. 52% of transactions in the European Union are actually in cash at the POS. Interesting. I did not know that. Now, let's come to my SMS going wild. In the last couple of weeks, I have noticed a marked push from brands blinding us and blinding me specifically on my Airtel line with just so much frivolous SMSs. Some Mugunda baron in Nanyuki decides that I need to get 2-3 SMSs a day for 5 by 100 bulotis in Nanyuki. I'm not kidding you. Africa's talking. These guys are using your name. I mean, if you're giving bulk SMSs to people, ask them to use their brand names, not yours. Because now I'm starting to wonder whether Africa's talking is in the Mugunda business. For those who are not Kenyans, that's our Kenyan slang for plots. I wouldn't call it real estate investing. I'll just say buying of plots for speculation and stuff. It's just confusing. That's one. Two, in its wisdom, Airtel continues to send me SMSs telling me, wait for it, I have been upgraded for Copper Credo from 30 shillings to 50. And guess what? I'm supposed to be grateful that they have upgraded me to 60 bob yesterday. Come on, guys. Surely. I pay you guys 2,000 shillings every month. I have airtime and bundles for Netflix until the next famine. And yet you are still bamboozling me with your SMSs about Copper Credo. Come on, guys. You have all the data about me. Can just get real, guys. Yeah? You are a serious global brand. And if you can't deal with basic data and mass customization issues, then we have a serious, serious problem. Then lastly, there are guys who are on a phishing or whatever expedition. The latest one is some random phone number sending me Carrefour messages telling me that my earned points at Carrefour will expire in 3 days if I don't click and renew them. Guys, never click on links that you have no clue about. I would advise, if it's on email, check the domain that email is on. Chances are it's a fake domain. Do not, I beg you, do not just click on stuff, you're going to be in trouble. The amount of SIM swapping, cyber attacks that are happening at both personal and corporate level is just shocking. We are losing billions of dollars every year on this. So be careful. And for those brands who, guys, look, the Mugunda barrels we can understand when they are bamboozling us with SMSs. Airtel, Africa's talking. Your brand's banner. Protect your brands in this digital world. Now, I want to speak to my escapades with X. I woke up last week to find myself suspended in purgatory as far as X is concerned. With no explanation, X just simply told me my account has been suspended. So I was like, you know what? I'm not an X user anyway. Might as well just leave it alone and move on. I went to their frequently asked questions about what happens when you are suspended. Turns out that even if you are suspended, you cannot delete your account. You have to first get unsuspended and then think about deleting your account. I mean, this is just crazy. X, I don't know what's going on with you guys. I don't know whether this is a sort of reflection of your honor. Yeah, I said it. Sorry, you can suspend me again if you want. I don't care. But the point I'm trying to make, guys, is that digital freedoms are becoming a problem. Scratch that. The owner of X the other day was seen arguing with his own AI and telling it, Grok, we're going to reset you because I don't agree with what you're saying. That's the sort of situation we are in today. We're finding ourselves in echo chambers on digital. Yeah, these guys are feeding you with the interest that you've expressed. You can't even open up your mind to look at other things. So if you're not careful, you're going to continue being in this little cocoon of people who think like you, whether it's good thoughts or crazy thoughts, but as human beings. Yeah, when you're congregating in a physical space, in an African village, next to a fireplace, having deep conversations, if every one of you is agreeing with every topic, there is no divergent views, what happens, guys? I'll tell you what happens. Just start being dunderheads because you're not allowing yourself divergent views. And that's what's happening, unfortunately. And it's happening in the digital ecosystem at scale. So you're finding 10 million people like-minded in a platform like Reddit who think the same, or in an X space just talking, let me just say, just some of these groups just talk nonsense. Yeah. There's nobody there to tell them, hey guys, the emperor is actually walking naked. There's no cloth on top of him. This is the situation that we are facing ourselves today. And as human beings, we need to watch out. To just say that I appealed and I got back on, I got an email telling me that I'm back on X. I was not given any reason why I was suspended in the first place. These guys just decided we're dealing with too many of these guys coming out of ex prison, so we can't give them any specific reason. They just give you a sort of an FAQ, frequently asked questions, frequently asked questions and answers why you are suspended. I'm like, gosh, guys. I looked at that list and I'm like, I am sure I did nothing of that sort. So X, I'm challenging you to be more transparent when you're suspending people. Tell them exactly why they're suspended. Don't take them through on a wild goose chase. Today morning, I want to launch Premier Bank, one of the Sharia-compliant financial institutions in Kenya. I had the privilege of moderating a session between My panelists were Shari'ah Ali, Senior Vice President, MasterCard, and Country Manager for East Africa, and Jibril Mohammed, who is the Chairman of Premier Bank. First, I must just say, it's very rare to see a senior person like Jibril, a chairman of a bank, being so engrossed in his own product or service. Jibril's the guy who, like me, will go through an app and make sure it is picture perfect. And if it's not, we'll send feedback to the engineers and staff. I must say, for those of you who know me, you know that I go through a lot of these financial services apps. And I can tell you, without fear of contradiction, there are very few peers in this market or in this region to what Premier Bank has launched. I am urging you to try out this platform, Premier Connect, on Apple Store or Google App Store. And before you go thinking that this is a paid ad, this is not a paid ad. I'm telling you, I've experienced this app. It is top notch. Some of the super interesting things you can do on this app. Number one, you are able to completely onboard, contrary to some banks I know, where when you have a bank account, still they ask you to go with physical proof of who you are to open another bank account in the same bank that you've been with for 10 plus years. That's the sort of incredible nonsense that we face sometimes in financial services. Complete onboarding without having to go to any branch. That's one. Two, you can check your PIN, you can reset your PIN without having to talk to anybody at any customer service center or branch. You can manage your cards, you can disable it, you can enable it again, you can change your PIN, you can reset it, and you can do virtual cards. More interesting for me also is tap and go. Sing this. POS, I can tap on it and pay without having to put in any passwords up to a certain amount. It's very interesting, and I asked both the gentlemen about security, and they answered these questions pretty well. You are able to control your devices via your mobile phone with the right PIN numbers, the right biometrics, everything is embedded. My favorite with this app, wait for it, you can send money to 140 countries inside 3 minutes. Let me repeat that. You can send money to 140 countries inside 3 minutes. In some countries, they do bank, to a mobile wallet or to a normal wallet, and cash out. In some places, there's only cash out. In some places, only bank transfer. The sheer amount of work from a compliance perspective that took to get to that point is amazing. If you understand fintech, if you understand financial services, you know that financial services is one of the most regulated industries in the world. Now, one of the favorite things I like to say is that we in the fintech space have forgotten the fin in fintech. We only focus on the tech. But the fin is equally important or even more important because, again, financial services is more regulated than many industries. Now, the fin is where the compliance and regulatory aspect of fintech will come in. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a fintech founder, please don't launch a product and think that that's enough. The compliance issues, the regulatory structures that are required on almost a daily basis are incredible. So kudos to the Premier Bank team led by Jibril Mohammed. I now want to speak to Ethiopia's crackdown on remittance flows. The central bank, or as it's popularly known, Ethiopia's national bank, has taken a strong regulatory stance by banning 4 US-based money transfer firms: Shige Money Transfer, Adulis Money Transfer, Ramada Pay, and Taj. And basically, they are saying that they're operating without proper licenses and engaging in suspicious activities. This is interesting. I've just talked about the fin in fintech. You have to cross your T's and dot your I's when it comes to financial services. These firms have served large numbers of Ethiopian and Somali diaspora communities in the US. So you can imagine the situation that the inconvenience that has been caused. But they were found collecting funds illegally and failing to comply with AML, that's anti-money laundering, and counterterrorism financing, CTF as we call it, regulations. Notably, Taj Money Transfer had pleaded guilty in a U.S. federal court for illegally moving over $66 million without requiring reporting, violating the Bank Secrecy Act. You know, guys, we can't belabor this point more. It cost the Binance founder $4.5 billion and 6 months in jail to cut a deal with the U.S. Justice Department. U.S. still acts as the arbiter, the judge, and the jury when it comes to global financial services. The mighty dollar is the reserve currency of the world, although we are seeing that starting to lose its effect because of all the policies that the Trump administration has put in and the counter strategies of BRICS, China, and the rest. So it's important, guys, to note that regulation, compliance, policy is becoming a crucial conversation when it comes to fintech and financial services. My last story is on the European Central Bank. There's a report that they did, December 2024 study on consumer payment attitudes in the euro area. Who would have thunk that in the euro area, cash still accounted for 52% of all point-of-sale transactions in 2024, down from 59% in 2022, but still, a majority, 62% of Eurozone consumers say having cash as a payment option is important or very important, which is a rise from 60%. You know, thinking about cash and coming back closer to home, despite the rise of mobile money and M-Pesa in particular, it's becoming increasingly difficult not to walk around without a bit of cash, even for some of us who are tech-savvy and in the fintech ecosystem. I've tested not walking around with actual cash, fari, for the last 2 weeks. I must say I've succeeded because even when I wanted to tip, I was like, namba yako ya simu ni ngapi? And I send M-Pesa. So my sense is that one of the most important issues to deal with when it comes to cash as a competitor to digital money is the issue about payments, cost of paying. You're sending money, if you're sending 100 bob and it's costing you 5 shillings or 10 shillings, that's like between 5 and 10%. That's just crazy. Yeah. We should find ways of layering other services. Payment fees are a race to zero, or what we are going to find is that more and more people are going to just go back to physical cash. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm calling it for today, and I look forward to seeing you guys and discussing these issues again next week. Asanteni sana.